An idea has been brewing in my mind, something of a project to get me tinkering with mobs and blocks and possibly redstone related to mob heads, which is something we can farm this season, and obviously we've done a lot of, and I've been thinking of another mob that might be very interesting to farm. But on my journey over to this place to check on some of the things that I've already farmed, I saw something that every time I see, I want to intervene. And that is something that is a common occurrence on this server. Chess monsters and jellycats. Good times with Scar. Wherever he builds, these things will appear, and it pains my heart. As you know me, I'm Mr. Organisation with all of my shulker box and my neatly ordered ender chest, and every time I want to intervene. I want to come over here and sort out all of this mess, and I decided, do you know what? Today, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to spend some time sifting through all of these, organising it all for Scar, and see what he thinks. You know? There's nothing to lose. An hour and 20 minutes later of purring sounds. Oh my goodness me. This is so satisfying to me though. I love sorting things out and making things neat and tidy. And as you can see, everything is signpost. I might go ahead and just sort some of these things out a little bit further, like all the stones here, put the andesite ones together. But some of it is organised by material, some of it by type, and others just by colour. And actually used every single one of Scar's shulker boxes here to fill it all the way up to the tippy top. Some junk items left over at the end there that were kind of tricky to sort, and then some other classifications like redstone. Look at all these heads as well. Like, what has Scar been up to, and why are there so many different Grian skins? It's kind of bonkers. And last of all, a couple chests of dirt and grass. Yes, all in all, a good use of time. For me. I hope Scar appreciates this because, yeah, hopefully it'll be helpful. So after I finish recording, I get a notification that Scar's going live on Twitch. So I got to watch him for 20 minutes flying around, not noticing the changes that I made, but eventually he spotted them. I have also spotted this over here. Look at it, we've got an hourglass ticking down the time. There's going to be some sort of competition between Scar and B-dubs. Man, those faces, they are so bizarre. But yes, Scar appreciated our efforts and has kept the chests organised for the most part, although I noticed there's some new ones over here. But there you go. Anyway, my work here is done. So how about that project idea I mentioned in the beginning of the episode? It would involve us travelling through the Nether a very long distance, and so I thought I'd set off to make a tunnel, right, which would have taken a lot of time, but then eventually I hit this basalt and realised it's going to take a very, very long time. Off there in the distance you can see I kind of gave up after digging some of this out without beacon effects. It's not instant mine, and I still had a ridiculously long way to go, so I figured, you know, what is the path of least resistance here? And that's when I remembered that we have access to the roof of the Nether, which we don't really use too often. And like I did earlier in the season, before the Nether got reset, we used to have loads of these carpets taking us to our different projects. Well, I have redeployed that, and we have one taking us a very long distance in this direction. It is in fact around 1800 blocks away that we have this spot right here to head down into the Nether. It's down there where we're going to do this project. But first of all, I obviously had to break this bedrock, and it was a little bit tricky, let's say. So I was watching Impulse's videos, who is the bedrock breaking master on Hermitcraft, and chatting with him on Discord, and I was basically missing out on a key detail. So my first attempts didn't go too well. However, I was using the macro clicker, which created some amusing effects right here. It took me a lot of attempts to get this right, and along the way I made some spectacular failures. I also managed to destroy the obsidian block there, which was something I was not expecting. But there were two key things. One of them is that you want the piston to face downwards when you're done, which it does here, but unfortunately that wasn't good enough. The key detail that I was missing was that I needed to place the piston off of the side of the obsidian block, and once I did that, I seemed to take a lot of extra damage and use my totem of undying, but then as I removed the piston, which wasn't facing downwards, might I add, there you go, we had the netherrack, and that meant that we could dig down and get below the roof of the nether. Well, that, my friends, is a timely reminder, if ever I needed one, to grab an extra totem of undying. Always want to have one of those in your offhand, especially with where we're going today. It's going to be dangerous. I should probably keep some golden apples, a fire resistance potion. Yeah, we're going to be farming a mob head in a very dangerous environment. And I believe that I will be able to show you that environment now. Yep, this is it right here. A Bastion Remnant. Right. And luckily for us, the thing that we're after... Whoa! I think I just landed on the edge. It is right behind this bit here. In fact, we might be able to take a quick peek. Let's ender pearl across here. This could be perilous. Is that a pun? Because, you know, ender pearls and all that. In we go. That is exactly what I'm looking for. The magma cube. Okay, there is a magma cube spawner right there. And what I want to do today is make a farm of it to get some magma mob heads. And I have to be careful. I do not want to end up stranded here. I have a choice, netherite or the golden chestplate. Well, because we're in the area with the piglins, that would probably be a smart idea. There's also going to be piglin brutes here as well as magmas. I've got resistance and regeneration on a beacon that I've spent some time setting up. And now we have to go in there and prepare the area. And this feels like a really big challenge, actually, because, well, you know, it's... Hang on! Jeez, I need some blocks. I've put them all away. Let's grab some of these. What I was trying to say was the nether is a dangerous place full of lava, piglins, piglin brutes, magmas. This is a dangerous place. Aha, you look very, very different. And I can't attack that magma because then I'll make all the piglins angry. I need to find like a proper way in here. Hey look, another one. So now comes the very awkward task of trying to secure the area around the magma cube while there's tons of lava here. I'm constantly activating it and spawning all of these. This is going to take me like a fair amount of time to secure all of this, and I barely even know where to get started here. Oh my god, there is so many of them, and I've barely been in this area. But this bridge right here is going to be the start of our strategy. So from the gloomy nether to the bright and luminous test world, I am interrupting this part of the video to explain to you what exactly our strategy is, because it involves understanding how the mob spawner works. These white glass blocks right here are in a 9x9x3 area around the mob cage, and as you'll see, no magmas are spawning because that is the places in which they spawn. The slight problem here is that we can have different sizes of magma cube, and one of them is very large. And of course it'll take forever, there it is, to finally get it. And as you saw there, it will require a little bit of extra space before we build a wall. So rather than expand this out by 4 blocks, we're going to go out by 6, and it's here that we're going to construct a wall. And for the sake of visibility, I have now changed these colors so you can see what I'm getting at. This is our containment area. We don't want the magmas escaping here because once they're inside of this cage, we obviously want to control and manipulate them. The one last thing to suss out is just how high to put something on top of this, right? And based on that, I reckon it's going to be about 2, 3, 4. Maybe a good idea is to go 1 extra, and then our roof would be at this height here. And now this will make a little more sense that we start here first of all. We're going to go up 1. There's a chain block on top of it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5th one. And then on top of there, we build out the roof. And this part is genuinely terrifying, made worse by the looming threat that there are piglin brutes somewhere out there, and that I'm right over the top of lava, and if I fall in, we're surrounded by magma cubes. So I've got to do this extremely cautiously. It also doesn't help that I didn't think through all the materials that I would need, even though I sat and scratched my head for a while asking What would I need, like the beacons? I'm going to have to cannibalize parts of this Bastion remnants in order just to get the materials to build this. Because look, I'm already out of slabs. The next step after this was to start building the walls downwards. And I was just thinking about what we were doing in the test world. It might make more sense to put blocks around the spawner to stop further magmas from spawning, and then we could come in here and build the rest of this thing. The main detail being that lava lake down below, because we've got to clear some of that out. And the first thing I need to do is just get a block right underneath it. Oh, I'm slightly out of range here. Alright, here we go. There, excellent, a block underneath. So now I can start filling this thing in. I'm going to lose track of where the middle is. That's like the only concern. It's funny, I put a lot of time into thinking this through, right, before I come over here, and when you're actually here doing it, some of the better ideas emerge. Now, thanks to this box, the area is peaceful, and I've gotten rid of pretty much all of the magmas, so we're now good to build the rest of this area in relative peace. Well, just a moment ago, this room had a real mystique to it. One of the things I hadn't factored in is that this looks really nice when it's lit up. I don't know if lighting is going to affect the spawn rates in here, but doesn't that look so much nicer? Anyways, what we've got to do now is start to go downwards. So I have a lot of work to do here, but a brief update. Underneath the floor of the Bastion remnants, we've got a lava lake, which just makes everything super grindy. I've got to build the walls down into here, and of course clear out all of the lava. And now we are left with this ominous room of darkness for the magma cubes to spawn in. And then comes the engineering part, which I'm going to tell you straight away, the very first thing that I tried here worked, okay? So there's not a lot of tinkering around to be done. What we do want to do, though, is put in some lava, and you'll notice that the floors here are made out of glass, and that's so that nothing spawns on here. And the light from the lava won't actually affect the spawn rates of the magma cubes, and it also lights up the room a little bit, which is nice. Now, its actual purpose is to move the magma cubes out of those corners, because we're going to use the player as the lure to bring the magma cubes over. I'm going to stand here slicing my sword. This is the first thing I thought to try, and it just worked straight away with very little iteration on the design. So the lava itself, I'm not sure if it actually does push the magmas away, because they can pathfind against it. But anyway, they'll fall down into this space and then they'll see me. Now, one of the things that I didn't test before coming into the Hermitcraft server and doing all of this in survival is what would happen with carpets here, because they've got a little bit of a hitbox, but I don't think that's going to get in the way. The magma cubes jump up and down as they make their way towards the player, and that is to prevent spawns, but the hoppers are obviously there to pick up some items. So with these walls like this, when the player is standing here, there's like a wide range of view. Technically we don't quite see what's going on in the corner here, so something there might have to change, but for the most part this seemed to be really good. So you have a soul sand block here. If any items land on it, the hopper below can pick it up, and then you have a slab here, and no magma cube can get through that gap. Also, if I take a step back, we'll be able to look up and see that the thing is activated. So when I'm standing here, it'll be activated. If I go any further away or lower, it will no longer be activated. So then, you know what's next, right? Oh, it's the old AFK clicking, and the magmas will just come to me, and I'll slice them, and I'll get their heads. So I have sealed off my alternate entrance to that space, and created another one, because we've got one thing left to do, right? That's to hop over the top here and start to remove these blocks. This is slightly terrifying because I'm worried that a big one is just going to spawn and jump right up at me and just like that. Oh my god, here we go. Yeah, that is the fear. Oh, and you're not falling down because there's a block over there. Great, great. We've got to act quick here. Yikes. Yep, this is slightly terrifying. Okay, I do not want to break that spawner. Now oh. Oh, I'm on edge. I'm just really on edge here. But that's it. I think we did it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. It's all ready for action. The sounds in here are unbearably squishy. There's other moaning and groaning as well. And what I want you to do right now is just look to the left of me. Not my left, the left of me. Look at the way the pixels line up there. You end up with a big old blob of the same colour. I can't unsee it now. But anyway, this has been a success, and as you'll see, there is no longer a soul sand block here. That is because they were actually able to jump into the space. A soul sand is not a full block, and because I didn't test that, I didn't realise that they can actually jump in and come towards me. However, none of them did actually attack, but eventually I replaced it with a full block. So I have therefore picked up a few magma creams in my inventory, but the main thing that we want to check on is the drops. And bear in mind, I was able to AFK for like 5 or 6 hours in a row. I timed it all really well. Got a lot of other things done with that time. And yeah, 24 heads. I don't think that means there'll be any more in the hop. Oh goodness me, actually. Oh my goodness me. Wow. Okay. Is it just this hopper that's backed up? Well, that was a good time to stop then. Madness. 48 heads. Well, I think this spot right here might explain some of the noises. Also, around the corner, you'll see that there's loads of them gathering here in the lava. I don't know why they're all attracted to this spot, but it's very popular. So we have obtained 4 shulker boxes of magma creams and then some. And something I'd like to show you on the way out of here is how I want to get here in the future, because I plan on decorating this area a little bit more, and that'll involve creating a tunnel that's probably going to end up underneath the lava there. Now, whoa, what just hit me? I'm taking damage. Jeez. So I wanted to find a piece of bedrock in the nether ceiling we could break that was in line with the magma spawner itself, so that we could go down through it and walk in a straight line to the farm itself. Problem with that is that it means that it's way further back here. But if we just stop here for a second, this is directly in line with the magma cube spawner, which is off in that direction. So back here in the base, rearrange some things. We've now got a spot to store all of our magma creams. But far more interesting than that, let's talk about the stock in the brick and mortar, because I, my friends, have been reading my comments and realised that I've been a derp again. But before we get to that, many of you pointed out that we could sell the red nether bricks over here. Haven't actually made any sales yet by the look of it, so I'm going to take these off the shelf, and we can of course then mix them with some nether warts to make the red nether bricks. And the reason these bricks make me a derp is because we've actually already built a farm for this, and I completely forgot. In fact, I even speculated about trading with the villagers for quartz, which I'm glad I didn't do, because of course we farm it over here. Looks like I haven't got much, but yeah, I spent all of that time, and I've actually got nether bricks through the roof here. I mean, I did not need to smelt all of that netherrack. And the other key component here is nether warts, and beneath this beastly build there is of course the AFK nether wart farm. And it looks like there is plenty of excess stock here. Well, actually I've just checked the first 2. How are the other ones? Oh my goodness me. Well, there you go. No shortage of these materials. This is now a block we can craft in mass. And that I have done. In fact, we've got 2 full shulker boxes worth right here. I think I'm going to sell these on the cheap as well, because it's a building material you don't tend to see in builds. Oh, there's some right there. But not in large quantities, because it's quite difficult to get hold of in that amount. But thanks to our AFK farms, you know, we've got a rather large amount for sale. So there it is, a diamond a stack. I think I'm also going to advertise to the other hermits that it's here, it's cheap, and if they want to build something really big in a quay using this texture, then to get in touch, because, you know, we've got another whole barrel here. I can make tons more of this stuff, and you can see B-Dubs has used it in a couple of his builds, but only in small quantities. I'm not sure if it suits scaling up on a large scale. Now I'm underwater. But anyways, if someone had a build idea with red nether bricks, the last thing we want to hold them back from that is the fact that it's difficult to make. So, you know, having lots of it will hopefully enable someone else to build with it. Anyways, I've dropped off the magma heads over here at the block exchange for sale. And now we're flying off over the ocean towards the Strait of Gibraltar. And that is because I wanted to show you what we've been up to on this week's Hermits Help Hermits livestream, which takes place every Monday evening, on Twitch. I'm pretty sure all of us are streaming on Twitch now, if any of us are streaming. And so this is our little communal get-together where we help each other with projects. And, you know, there's been a recent event in the world of a shipping container getting stuck in the Suez Canal. And Joe decided that, you know, he would recreate it over here in the Strait of Gibraltar. Oh, and so this is what we did on Monday. We just spent ages placing loads and loads of blocks. I don't think the thing is fully finished yet, but it is a sight to behold. Absolutely hilarious. And so I had a good time placing down all the blocks on Monday. I didn't realise just how much stuff there was in Joe's area. Like, down here, there's all these fishies under the water. And when I was hanging out next to the portal, I noticed this opening. Okay. There's a whole, like, city down here. Yeah, look at it. This is some absolute chaos. And I love this over here in the corner. Look at that. Honey block elevator. There is water the other side of this. And so, because the honey block isn't a full block, you can move back into it and get picked up by the water. This is too much fun, right? Anyways, the point I'm trying to make here is that Mondays is where the Hermits Help Hermit streams happen. I'm always going to try and participate them, even if I don't stream myself. So be sure to follow some of the Hermits over on Twitch if you want to catch these events in the future. Like I've said before, they're like, you know, sort of mini live episodes of Hermitcraft. And while I was in the area, I was actually being a little bit nosy, looking around. The last time we were here was probably like 10 to 20 episodes ago when we hit episode 100 of this season. And the place has evolved so much since then. The gardens out here look absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I had a blast exploring, looking around, being nosy whilst also helping to build the shipping container. Anyway, I think this room here is supposed to be like a winery. It's a very nice build, but we have indeed come to the end of our time on Hermitcraft for this episode. So if you've enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like. Wow, right into the tree. Thank you as always for your support, and I'll be seeing you soon with another episode of Hermitcraft. So ciao for now. Bye-bye.